Hello, I'm Coach Frank Allocco, and today I'd like to speak to you about the commitment of great teams. The 2006 De La Salle Spartan basketball team was recently selected for induction into the school's prestigious Hall of Fame. The California state champions' record of 32-1 and their recognition as the number 3 team in the country speaks for itself. But the real beauty of this team was the class and the elegance in which they achieved such lofty goals. My brother Jerry, a great coach in his own right, often says that there are no coincidences in life. Ironically, after reading an article in the Clayton Pioneer about the upcoming induction of this team, I received a newsletter from John Gordon, the outstanding author and one of the top motivational speakers in the United States. His message spoke to the 5 commitments of great teams. As I read his email and his wisdom extolling the commitment of great teams, my thoughts instantly drifted to this special group that I was blessed to coach and how they were truly the embodiment of everything that he so eloquently outlined. The first principle that John Gordon speaks of is that great teams commit to giving 100%. Like many great success stories, this team's journey began with disappointment, as the previous March saw the season abruptly end with a most frustrating loss in the North Coast section semifinals to coach Mike Grignani's talented and well-coached Berkeley team. In that nerve-wracking final game, the Spartans' typical great defense struggled to contain future University of San Francisco great Dior Lohorn. The young Spartans were very disappointed in that outcome. And in that locker room, they quickly composed themselves. And then on that bus ride home, began the conversations to create their off-season plan to win the California State Championship. Great teams commit to getting better. This team had the courage to state their intentions, and they embraced their collective vision to strive for the highest goals that they could achieve in high school basketball. They believed in each other. They worked together to execute the plan to improve individual and team skills throughout the offseason. When the season began, they were excited, and we got off to a great start with an unblemished record until the outstanding Torrey Pines Classic, where we suffered our lone loss to Franklin High School from Seattle, a team that would eventually go on to win the Washington State Championship. The 58-56 overtime loss was disappointing, but the team didn't dwell on it. They chose to use the defeat as an opportunity to do a collective analysis of their own deficiencies. And all players recommitted and stated their intention to do their part to improve individually and as a team. They were not going to settle for being average. They used this adversity as a springboard to bigger and better things. And in the months ahead, they continued to challenge each other. They were not afraid to hold each other accountable. And as a result of that, they grew as players and as people. Great teams commit to staying positive. The 2006 team faced the biggest challenge in the NorCal regional tournament when they faced Coach Chuck Rapp's always disciplined Serra Padres. The first half, it was a nightmare, as the Spartans experienced a frustration they hadn't seen all year. There were missed layups missing by an inch. There were outside shots that rattled in and out. There were backdoor passes that weren't connecting. But most disturbing was that players were doing something they hadn't done all year. They were pointing fingers at each other in displeasure. The double-digit deficit after 2 quarters was imposing, but I knew our team wasn't ready to quit. During the halftime break, I stated to those young men that I had been telling everyone all year that this was the most loving team I had ever coached, that I was always sharing how much they supported each other and they played for each other. I told them to stop pointing fingers and questioning each other and choose to pat each other on the back and encourage each other. And as we left that locker room, I can remember like it was yesterday, I gave them one final challenge. Forget the score. Forget your national ranking. Just use this second half to show 3,000 people out there that we are the most loving team in the country. And as fate would have it, the second half saw those passes connecting. They saw shots dropping and the score tightening as we finally emerged with a hard-fought 52-48 victory. Great teams commit to the team's mission. This team overcame the most incredible challenges as they didn't have a gym for the majority of the season as they were renovating the school gym that year. Every game was a road game or played at a neutral site. They practiced in a warehouse in Concord, which we lovingly nicknamed Siberia. And to further emphasize the conditions and our challenges, we would play the theme song from Rocky IV at the beginning of every practice. Guys really bought into this. They embraced it. In fact, they welcomed the Spartan conditions, as we also practice in recreation centers and elementary schools and middle school gyms. But regardless of the conditions or the location, they approached every practice opportunity by competing as if each repetition was the final possession of the state championship game. This team was talented, but no one ever had a thought of how many points they scored or how many minutes they played. The only statistic that mattered to any of them was the success of the team. The 2006 team had just one player who averaged in double figures, yet 10 of them would go on to play college basketball, their skills and commitment outshining any personal statistics. Great teams commit to each other. This team truly became special when the goal became more than a dream, when it extended beyond their original goal of winning a state championship. This team embraced their fate as road warriors, and most teams fear away games. They approached them without fear. They were determined to use the unprecedented travel situation that we had as an opportunity for them to display the values that we stood for. They were on a mission to represent our program and each other. They modeled unselfish play, teamwork, and great sportsmanship throughout that entire year, and they drew strength from each other. And in their mission to achieve success through hard work, dedication, and trust in each other. The 2006 De La Salle Spartan basketball team created their plan on a school bus and went on to achieve their goal of winning the California State Championship with a 43-40 victory over Clovis West. Although their talents and achievements are well documented in the annals of California state basketball, and will be rightfully recognized in the De La Salle Hall of Fame. This team truly transcends statistics as they model discipline, love, and sacrifice both on and off the court. They were a true band of brothers who fueled each other with challenge, accountability, and a total commitment to the team and each other. Keep listening, keep learning, and strive to be your best. And remember, excellence doesn't take days off.